Welcome to Kart Class, brought to you by 18 times Australian champion David Serra. Kart Class strives to give kart racing drivers the fundamental driving skills, kart setup, and the mindset required to take you from beginner to winner. Your host, David Serra, has over 25 years' experience in kart racing and is the most successful driver in Australian history.
G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of Kart Class. Today we're going to be discussing consistent lap times. So it's a tricky one because obviously we look at our microns or our alfanos when we come in off the track and we see this one lap time that stands out, and it could be 2 to 3 tenths faster than our next lap time. So we obviously know that we can do it, but we can't do it on the fly. So we're going to be able to try and do it lap after lap after lap, and that's where we see that the best drivers in kart racing, also the best drivers in motorsport, are able to punch out these quick lap times, but also do them lap after lap. So we're talking they can do 10 laps within 1/10 of a second, and that's obviously where there's a reason why they're at the front of the field compared to drivers who can pluck out 1 or 2 out of nowhere, and they don't actually know how they've done their best lap time as well. So when it comes to consistency, the first thing that comes to mind is trying to find markers on the track, so that you've got your braking marker, you've got a turning point, you've got your accelerating marker. There might even be something that shows the apex to you, so that lap after lap you can keep looking for those markers. So we're looking at markers, we're looking at tyre barriers, we're looking at painted lines on the track, we're looking at different colour painted sections on the curbing. It could be a drain pipe or something like that as well that sticks out to your mind, so you can keep hitting those same markers on the track lap after lap. Obviously as well, when it comes to consistency, it's about concentrating for a long period of time as well. Now, whether that's for 5 laps in a session or if you're doing a 20 lap final, it's been able to put that mental focus into actually hitting those same points lap after lap. And then another thing with consistency as well is that if you make a mistake, don't just try and go and pick it up the next corner. So, an example might be that you're coming down the brakes, you're trying to chase the driver in front, and you've just overshot the braking mark, and unfortunately you've missed the apex, and you may have lost a couple of tenths or a kart length on the way out of the corner as well. So naturally what happens is you think, far out, I've just made a mistake, I've lost a bit of ground, I can go and make that back up. And generally the case is you were already pushing 100% into the corners. So now all of a sudden is you're going into the next corner and you're going to try and brake later or accelerate earlier. You're going to try and do something that isn't natural to you, and also is something that you haven't tried before maybe, or it hasn't been working for a reason. So all of a sudden we've gone and made one mistake at the previous hairpin. We've tried too hard at the next corner. What happens? Another mistake happens. So then all of a sudden we're getting a bit flustered. We're getting a bit frustrated with our own driving. We can see either our lap times are getting slower on that course of the lap, or the driver in front of us is starting to creep away. And then what happens is we start to get mistake after mistake after mistake. So all of a sudden, rather than just making that first mistake and we lost 1 kart length, which might be 1/10 of a second, we've popped in 2, 3, maybe even 4 mistakes over the course of that particular lap, trying to make up our first mistake. And all of a sudden, that's where we see a lap that's gone 5 or 6 tenths slower than the rest. And so again, it's about keeping your frustrations in check, so you're not sort of trying to overdrive too much. It comes back to being a smooth driver, looking for your markers as well, so that every lap, it's basically like muscle memory. It's just a repetition, literally just hitting the same markers. And once you get nice and comfortable and you're able to punch out, 5, 6, 7 laps in a row within those couple of tenths of a second, then you can start to look to move your markers a bit further down from there, rather than each lap pushing a kart length more, a kart length more, a kart length more, bang, you've made a mistake, and then not trying to change it back. So then you make, multiple mistakes lap after lap. And it's about identifying your mistakes nice and early so that you don't do it again in the following laps, because so many times I've helped drivers that they might drop a wheel on one particular corner, and then out of 10 laps 5 times they've dropped a wheel, and it's like, well, you've done it once, okay, that's fine. Twice, okay, we'll sort of let you off. But if you're doing it 3, 4, 5, 6 times, then you're not thinking about your driving while you're actually out there driving. So again, it comes back to the mental focus of actually concentrating for a long period of time, looking as quickly as you can for those markers, be nice and smooth. And if you do make a mistake, don't try and go and pick it up at the next couple of corners, because it's likely that you're going to make a similar mistake over the next couple of corners, and then those mistakes get bigger and bigger as you're getting more frustrated as well. So that's how we can try and fix up our consistency on the racing track. If you've enjoyed the episode, obviously please click subscribe and leave us a review. And if there's everything you want us to cover, then send us a message online or check out kartclass.com.au for all your karting needs. Thanks very much. Cheers.
If you've enjoyed today's episode and want to learn more about your kart racing, be sure to check out kartclass.com.au for driving courses catered to all skill levels.